Today we are demoing Coffee Passport, the final project for CS386P. Coffee Passport is a social tracking app like Letterboxd, Belly, Strava, Untapped, etc. So it allows users to create accounts, follow other users, log and rate their visits to coffee shops, and then see other users' activity, both for users' personal enjoyment and to see what coffee shops their friends are using. When you start up the app, assuming you weren't already logged in, you're taken to this welcome page, which loads in a random coffee image every time. So you'll see something different just as a friendly, unique way to welcome in the new user. When you press login, the service is handled by Firebase Auth, just like we've seen in class. So this handles both signing in and the creation of a new user. For this demo, we will showcase a pre-created user just because it will have more stuff to show off, but you can create a new account as well. Upon sign-in, you are taken to the home page, which by default shows all shops currently in the system, and displays them by default sorted by title ascending. I'm not going to do anything else for a second because I want to explain a feature that is going to pop up shortly. So, assuming you have location services enabled, Coffee Passport is tracking it. There it is, tracking a user's location in real time. And if it detects you are within 10 meters of any given coffee shop, it will prompt you and ask you whether you're currently there and whether you'd like to log a visit. Um, it will not prompt you again for the duration of time you're at that coffee shop, but if you move obviously to a new coffee shop, it will ask you for that coffee shop. So we have set the location of this phone to Double Trouble, a coffee shop in North Loop, um, to show off this feature. We're not going to log a visit for now because we're going to show that feature off later. But it will prompt you, and this window can pop up on any screen of the app, so it can happen at any time in real time if the user moves to a coffee shop. So on this page, again, we can see all coffee shops, which will update in real time if new ones are created. We can see all of our visited coffee shops. We can see all of our favorited coffee shops, and we can see any coffee shops that may be on our want list. Within any given view of the coffee shops, we can search a coffee shop, of course. We can sort by title, rating, or proximity. And then if we're sorting, we can switch the sort to ascending or descending with a animated sort button, as well as a indication of what we are sorting by in the uh, sort box. Now, um, the next feature we'll show off is the creation of a shop. So the way to create it, well, sorry, one other feature is, you can add or remove shops from your favorites list, as well as add them to your want list or remove them from your want list from the screen, and you can directly log a visit from the screen. If you are the creator of a shop, you can also edit the shop from the screen. Now we can create a new shop by clicking the floating button. We could enter all of the information manually, or we can search one up using Google. Let's say we want to enter Epoch Coffee. We'll enter that in. It will autofill the shop's name and address. We could upload or take a picture. We could describe the coffee shop, but we'll just say, this is good for now. We'll submit. The system does this ambiguation on the back end, so it will say Epoch Coffee already exists, so it won't allow users to make duplicates. Is that what you meant? And we might be like, oh, no, actually, we wanted to enter a different coffee shop, or we could view the shop and it would take us to that shop page so we could understand that it already exists. So we'll say, you know what, we messed up. Let's look at that coffee shop list again. Oh, I really like Flitch coffee, and I see that doesn't exist. So let's search that up, and it will autofill that. We can upload a picture. We'll just pick a random one that we have in photos. Uh, and then we can describe the coffee shop. We'll say it's great. And when we submit, we'll see that now a new coffee shop has been created. A lot of this information obviously doesn't exist because no one has rated it yet. There are no visits, but we can see that we can add or remove that shop from our favorites and want list. We can see that it's already calculated that it's 4.2 miles away. We could log a visit, and because we are the creator of this shop, we have a floating button to edit it. But if we were not the creator of the shop, we would not be able to see this button. Um, so let's go back to home and let's find a coffee shop that already exists so we can see some more information. So if we go to Google Coffee Company, we can see that we can see its overall aggregate rating is 4.3 from four different ratings. We can see its location is 4.3 miles away. We can see its drink and vibes quality, and then we can see no one has rated its food. So therefore, food just doesn't have a rating. Now, this is our visits by default. We can sort that by rating or date visited, again, descending and ascending, with the default being descending date visited, because in general, when users are using these sorts of apps, they want to see their most recent visits, but maybe we want to see everyone who has visited Google Coffee Company. So we can click on the four ratings and we can see all four visits that have been logged. Because these are ours, we have the option to edit or delete them straight from the list. These are not ours, so we can only view them. Maybe we want to log a new visit to Google Coffee Company. We can use our floating button that we have, which will take us to the Create Visit screen. By default, it loads in the current date and time because most of the time, these apps, you're logging things as you're doing them, but maybe we remember that we wanted to log something we did the other week, in the morning at some point. So we can change that time. We could take a photo. Obviously, we're just going to be using the Android emulator for this. Uploads, and we'll just say, wow, this is pretty good. We can fill in what we got. This is simply for our own notes. Had a great time. And this is our visit. When we submit, it takes us to the visit screen showing that this is the account we're signed in as, visited Gold Coffee Company on this date. This is all the information we put in. Again, because we are the owner of the visit, we get floating buttons to edit or delete the visit, which would not be present if um, if we were not the owner. We didn't want to do this visit, so we can just delete this, which will take us home. And if we go back to Google now, we'll see it still only has four visits. And just to show off what someone else's visit would look like, we can click into someone else's visit and we'll see that here's a visit from the Price Master, who is obviously a different user at this time. If from this visit, if we click on the name of the coffee company, it will take us back to that page. Or we can click on the user's profile, which will take us to that user's profile. So now let's talk about the user profile page. We can see in the top left corner, we can determine whether or not we are following a user, and we can follow them or unfollow them, which in real time will obviously change their follow count. We can see their bio. We can see their favorites, visited, want list, and created coffee shops, which have the same search and sort functionalities. Um, and we can still, add a shop to say our want list from their profile, of course. Um, we can view their activity, which will show just everything they've ever logged, again, by default sorted, descending by date to show the most recent stuff first. And then we can also view their followers and following. But for this, so in fact, let's just show that. So we can see that the Price Master follows these four people. One of them is ourself. We don't have the option to follow or unfollow ourselves. And three are people we're not currently following. They are following seven people, many of whom we also follow. If we go to our own profile, we can see those same facts. We can see our activity. We can see followers and following our bio, and you'll notice we no longer have the option to follow or unfollow ourselves because that would not make sense. In addition, if it's your own account, you have the Find People to Follow button, which takes us to a unique version of the follow page called the Discover page, which lists every user in the app, of course, who can be sorted by username or followers. And can be searched. So say, oh, we were looking for Thomas Wake, we can go and follow that user. Um, all of this information, of course, updates in real time for both ourselves and for other users so they can see themselves gain or lose followers in real time. Um, the next feature we want to talk about is the activity page. So as we could see on any given shop, we can see um, the activity of either ourselves or all users at that shop. And on any given profile page, we can see the activity of all users or ourselves on that profile. But if we go to the activity page, it is just a list of all visits by all people that the current user is following. This again updates in real time. So if any of our followers were to log a new visit on their own phone, this would pop up. We could click into it, see what they're up to. Um, the next feature we want to show is the map. Now, there's multiple ways to get to the map. And it's important to note that all of the locational features will gray themselves out if location services are not turned on. And on click will display a snack bar explaining that location services need to be turned on to use. So if we go to the map by default using our using the action bar, it will open on our current location, and we can see we're at Double Trouble. We're near Epoch, we're near Spokesman, um, and we have custom map markers for that. And if we zoom out, we can see many more coffee shops that have been logged. So by default, it will open our current location, and it will open displaying all of the coffee shops in the entire app. If we click on any given marker, it will take us to that the page of that coffee shop. Now, if we are on a coffee shop page like we are now, and we want to, we can click on the address of that coffee shop to open the map, still with all shops shown, but centered on whatever shop we clicked. So if, we're looking up a new shop and we want to know where it is on the map, we can click on it and it will open the map centered on that shop. Finally, the third way the map functions is if you're looking at a list of shops, you can, so like this list, you can open the map and it will again open on your current location, but it will show only the shops that were on that list you selected. Now you can clear that at any time to show all shops again, just like if you had navigated there from the activity bar. As you can see, if you are at any given location in the activity bar, that location disappears off the activity bar. The final main piece of functionality is the settings. You can change your username, which of course will update immediately. If we change it and save it, it will let us know that we changed it successfully. All of these fields, like many others in the app, will let you know if you're over inputting, and if we attempt to save, it will let us know that it could not save because it was over a certain number of characters. We could take or upload a new profile picture. We could change our bio, which again is tracking a max number of characters. And then finally, users can delete their account. When you click delete account, it prompts you letting a user know that this action cannot be undone and asks for them to re-enter their password. If they enter an incorrect password, it will tell them that's incorrect. It will not allow them to delete their account. Assuming we entered a correct password, which we are not going to, it would allow them to delete their account. This is an important feature as users have a right to privacy. Um, and if a user does want to delete their account, they should be able to. So this was implemented, and when a user's account is deleted, all of their visits will be deleted. They will be removed from anyone's follower or following list appropriately. But then any shops that user has created will cede ownership to the admin account so that any other users who may have logged visits to those accounts will not lose those visits. So then obviously finally we can log out, which will take us back to the login screen, and we could start this process all over again with the same account or with another account. Thank you so much for watching.